Hi, everyone, and welcome to the webinar on Kahoot courses. So today we'll take you through how to engage employees in mobile learning with interactive Kahoot courses. So today with me, I have Antoine, who is our account manager. So welcome, Antoine.
Hi, Evelyn.
Great. So let me go through a bit of housekeeping before we actually get started. If you have a question throughout the webinar, just write it in the Q&A section on Zoom. We'll try to answer it live, but since there's a lot of people joining this webinar, we might not be able to get to it. So just shoot us an email afterwards if we haven't gotten to your question. You're welcome to chat amongst yourselves as much as you want, but we won't be looking at the chat for questions. So if you have a question, use the Q&A. Let's get started. So some people around you might not know what Kahoot is. So let me take you through this. I am Evelyn, the marketing specialist for our business users, which is you guys, which means that I keep you updated with the latest and greatest and give you all the updates on LinkedIn. I hold all the webinars, and I always have guest speakers on my webinar, like Antoine. So Kahoot, we are the leader in gamifying learning in the workplace, which means that our platform makes e-learning, presentations, and training engaging. And we do this through Kahoots, which are quizzes. We call them Kahoots, and they look like the pictures here on the slides. So there's always a shared screen, or there is a self-paced mobile learning challenge. And with this, people can play at the same time or asynchronously, and you're basically inviting trainees to complete the quizzes that you have created. There's a ton of different use cases for Kahoot. So you can use it for e-learning, training, which could be in person or remote, like we're doing right now. It can be for interactive presentations, can be for compliance, product, sales training, really any type of training you're doing, as well as to engage audiences at all types of events, and also as onboarding for new hires. And this is something we do at Kahoot ourselves. So whenever somebody new starts, we always ask them to create a Kahoot about themselves. We call these selfie Kahoots. So it's a really fun tool which you can use in a ton of different ways in your business. There's two different ways to play Kahoot. The first way to play is with a live game. This means that we're playing a quiz, everybody at the same time, and we'll actually do this at the end of this webinar too. And everybody sees a shared screen, which could be either in person, if you are all in the same room and looking at a projector or a TV, or it could be by just sharing your screen on any video conferencing tool you want to use. So Kahoot is not a video conferencing tool itself, and you can use Kahoot with any video conferencing tool that you yourself have chosen. Whereas the second way to play is with a Kahoot challenge. Challenge is the name that we have given our mobile learning. These are all self-paced Kahoots, which means that people can play this at their own time, asynchronously, but you still have the competitive elements because you're all playing against the same scores. So whenever one person plays, this score will be visible for the next person who is also in the same trainee group. And this can be played from any time and anywhere, which is a really good way for you to connect with people and employees and trainees that are maybe over different time zones in different offices around the world. It's super easy to use. So then I'm giving it over to Antoine, who will talk about Kahoot 360, which includes Kahoot courses.
Thank you, Evelyn. So as a quick introduction, my name is Antoine, and I'm an account manager in the sales team at Kahoot. And I'm really excited to be with you today, co-host this webinar about courses. We're really excited about this new feature, and I see that there's a lot of people attending this webinar today, so this is great. Before we get into courses, we're going to give a quick introduction about our new enterprise offering, Kahoot 360. So this plan is our complete solution for enterprises and corporate learning. In this plan, we'll give you the best features for you to create great presentations, for you to engage your colleagues into the company, and of course, to bring some fun and engagement in the workplace. I think you can go on the next slide, Evelyn. Thank you. So some of the benefits about Kahoot 360 on the creation aspect is that, first of all, you'll have access to all of the question types that we have available on the platform. It means that you will be able to create engaging sessions by mixing them all up. So for some of you who are familiar with it, you'll have quiz questions, true, false, polls, word cloud, etc. And we'll just have a look at this when we jump in the platform. The second aspect is the ability to collaborate with your team of trainers in your team space. This is something we'll also see in the platform. We have developed in 2020 an integration with Microsoft Teams, and I know there has been a webinar before with Evelyn, fully dedicated on this topic. Of course, we try to give you the ability to brand your games, whether they are live games or challenges or more like we will see today in the platform. And finally, something very powerful, or at least we believe so, the ability to import your slide decks into your Kahoots to create interactive presentations. So that is on the creation aspect. And then we have the next slide, which is about the insights that you get with Kahoot 360. So if you can just jump on the next slide, Evelyn. Perfect. So we have worked really hard to also give you advanced reporting, where you will basically get all of the game analytics and the details that you need to understand and to track your performance, your participants' performance over time in training sessions. There's also a feature that we call the Kahoot tournament, where you can combine several reports of a game series. You can also assign self-paced challenges to your participants. And then another feature we're really excited about is the fact that you will be able now to log in with a single sign-on, and SSO is a feature that's going to be available for enterprise agreement, where we have more than 100 trainers. That's it for the insights. And now the coming soon part is basically what we are going to discuss today. It's about courses. So you'll be able very soon to create training courses into the platform. We'll jump into this because it's a bit easier to see it live. Assign these courses to participants, and also assign them through groups of participants, as well as the ability to send reminders. On that, I think, Evelyn, now it's my time to jump into the platform and to share my.
Exactly. Perfect. I'll stop sharing so you can share and give a live demo.
Fantastic. So just give me a second, and you should be able to see in a second our webpage, Kahoot for Business.
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. So I will start quickly from here because I think there are some great reads on our website. Right now, I am on kahoot.com/business. Feel free to go into our news section and at Kahoot at Work, where you will find lots of very inspiring articles that we publish about all sorts of new features, all use cases of how other businesses are using Kahoot. If you wanted to learn more about specific use cases, you can also click on Kahoot at Work and on Customer Stories. And here you'll find some great stories from our customers around the world that have been using Kahoot in various ways. And you can actually read this and filter by the use case right here on the top. I guess that's it for the website. If I wanted to jump straight into the platform, I'll just click on the top right corner on Login, and I would then end up right here. So right now I am on our Kahoot 360 account, and I am into the Kahoots tab. This tab is coming into two main spaces. The first one is called My Kahoots, and that's going to be my private and personal space where I can create my content and organize it in different folders. Everything I do in this space will only be visible to me. Now we also have what we call the team space. So in this team space, the format is almost the same, where you have your folders where you can store your content, you can create your content and organize it as you want. You can see that for the example of today, we created a couple of folders, for example, sales training, marketing, company presentation, etc. And you would typically store your Kahoots in these folders. Now, the magic of the team space is that you will be able to invite your trainer colleagues to it, or whoever needs a license to create content, create an interactive presentation for a meeting, for onboarding sessions, for training, leadership development programs, etc. And everyone who has a license will be able to see this team space, create content, and host it. Now, to every game that will be created in your Kahoot team space, you will have two ways of delivering that content to your trainees and participants. And that's something Evelyn just covered in her slide just before. So let's take, for example, this one. If I wanted to play this game, when I click on the play button, I'll be given two options. The first one is a live session, which is probably the one that you've been exposed to the most. A live session is a type of experience where someone is hosting the session and sharing the screen if it's virtual online. And all of the participants are playing from their device at the same time. And because there is an interaction with the audience and the host, we call it a live experience. Then we have what we call self-paced challenge. And this one is basically, again, for the same game, you will assign it individually to your participants. They will receive an invitation via email and will be able to complete that game at their own pace, anytime, anywhere. So those two types of game modes are extremely important, and I strongly recommend to use a mix of both, where you'll, for example, have a workshop with a live session where everyone is playing at the same time, and a week or two later, you can follow up with a challenge, for example. Every time you will play a game and launch a Kahoot session, whether it's live or a self-paced challenge, we will always generate a report for you where you'll be able to track your participants' progress over time. That's it quickly about the game modes. Before we really dive into courses, I just wanted to show you very briefly that it is super simple, easy, and intuitive to create a Kahoot. For that, you'll just click on the Create button on the top right corner, end up in the Kahoot Creator, where first we will show you a couple of templates to give you inspiration on how you can create a great and impactful session. Let's just take a blank Kahoot for today. And here's the creator. You land in a quiz question where, for example, we can just have our question: how many participants can you have in your sessions on Kahoot 360? So we can go, for example, with 500, let's say 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000. Now, the right answer is actually 2,000 here, so I need to select this. And then to each of my question, I can add a media. The media can be a YouTube video that will be running while the question's on the screen during the game experience. It can be uploading your own image or using our image library that gives you access to millions of high-resolution pictures. And this is going to help you create Kahoots faster and more professionally. The way this works is you type in your question and your answers, you click on image library, we pick up the words from the questions and the answer if you wanted to. You are also free to type in any text you want, but I think I want something related to participants. And you're immediately thrown into this library of images that you can use for your Kahoot. Let's say I actually want to use this one, and that's it. That's how easy it is to create a quiz question. In the event you have a element of answer into your media, you can also use the image reveal, which is going to reveal the image within the time limit that you give. Of course, it can be changed from 5 seconds up to 4 minutes. By default, we have 20, up to you if you want to give more or less time to your participants. The next thing is going to explain why so many companies around the world are using Kahoot as a training platform and as a presentation tool. When I want to add a question, I'm offered several question types. We have a block that we call test knowledge that contains 4 question types: quiz that you have just behind, true, false, type answer, where you ask your players to type in the answer from their device, and puzzle, which works really great for processes and sorting and ranging. These 4 question types are about testing knowledge, so they will assign points to the players who get it right. Then we have a block that we call collect opinions that contains 3 question types. And this is all about survey, polling, and gathering feedback. So for that, we will not assign points to the players. We have poll, word cloud, and open-ended, but you actually see them in action in a minute. And then one of my favorite, I guess, is the ability for you as trainers to add content to your training sessions. So of course it can be a slide, and you have two main ways of creating slides. The first one is either you create your own slide into Kahoot. Let's say we are going to talk about courses today. And then you have the text of your slide, and then you can have a media again. Let's say we want something related to courses, and that's my slide. On the slide, there is no timer. I can spend as a host the time I want to cover all the content and to answer questions. I can also change the background color if I wanted to. That's the first way of adding a slide. The second one is something you have on Kahoot 360, where you can actually import your own slide decks. If you are in the situation where you already have plenty of presentations created, whether it's PowerPoint, Keynote, PDF, document, etc. You just click on upload, you insert your presentation. I can keep editing while importing. And whenever my slides are in my presentation in my Kahoot here, I'll get a notification telling me I can see my imported slides. The power of importing your own slides is, in my opinion, two main things. The first one is that those are the three slides I just imported. The first one is that you can keep your identity as a company. It means that you keep your logo, your colors, your branding, and your background. And the second one is that instead of simply delivering a PowerPoint presentation to your audience that is passively listening, what happens now is that you can actually move these slides around and basically insert questions in between. So you keep your audience active and they are part of a game experience. So for example, if after my slide 3, I wanted to poll my audience, I can just throw a poll right here, and I can of course move them around as I want. I'm not going to spend too much time today on the creation, but that's at least as much as I can say, where this is how you create an interactive presentation with Kahoot by inserting your own slides, and of course by mixing up all the question types that you have available on the platform. All right, so that's how you create a Kahoot. And that is going to lead us to another topic that I want to show today that is called groups. In groups, you will be able to create a couple of groups with some people in it. As an example, we have created some groups here. You can see marketing, webinar, sales, and these groups contain a certain amount of people that you have chosen. I'm not going to talk about groups today, but I wanted to mention it because it's going to help you understand courses as well. Let me go back to our team space. And now we are going to talk about courses. Courses is we're extremely proud and excited about this feature. And this is something you'll find right here. Right now, I have the ability on Kahoot to create courses. We have created a couple example courses that, like you can see on the screen: product training, compliance, sales training, onboarding 2020. So let's create a course together so that you see how simple it is. I just click on create course on the top right corner, give a title. So I want this course to be about courses. And here, give a quick course description, learn about, let's say, engaging courses with Kahoot. And then I can click on create. When I arrive in courses, what happens is that whatever session I had created, just like I just showed you in the creator, I can just pick them and add them to my course. You can navigate from your My Kahoot personal space and into your organization team space. So let's see today, I would like first to find a Kahoot that is about 360. So we'll actually add this Kahoot. Okay, and then I want another Kahoot that is about courses. And I want to add this Kahoot as well. When I click on done, you can see that my two sessions have been added to my course. And later in the future, in another plan on Kahoot 360, you'll also have the ability to import your PDF documents into this course. The way you do it is click on import. Let's import actually the exact same PDF that we did in the creator. I can rename this. Let's say I just want it to be displayed in in a nice way, and interactive presentation done. And then I can move this sessions around like I want. You can decide to play this course in a sequence or not. Of course, for my course here, I would like my participants to go through 360 first, interactive presentation second, and then courses as a last. So I want to play them in a sequence. And this is how you create a course. It is as simple as this. You can add your sessions to it, click on done, and we have our course. Now, the next step for you is going to start the course. When I click start course, I will be able to choose for how long I want to have the course open. Let's say we want to start it now. Of course, you can start it more in the future if you wanted to. And I want to end it next Friday. You can see that we also have added the ability to automatically remind your participants and the ones who haven't started the course. So this is going to change based on how much time you give your players to complete the course. If I, for example, give over 1 month, then we think that once a week is a suitable reminder. If I give less time, for example, actually less than 3 days, we actually don't recommend to send reminders. So let's say I want to open it until next Friday and click on Start Course. The next thing I need to do is to invite my learners. And the reason why I talked about groups before is that you will be able in the future, not now, to invite your groups. Remember, we had these groups, sales team, marketing, HR. You will be able to invite the whole group to your courses on a different plan in Kahoot 360 in the future. Right now we can't, so we will just send multiple invites. The way you invite your participants, and if you remember, you can invite up to 2,000 of them to each course. Then it's just by typing, let's say, this is my email address in case someone's interested in getting in touch with me. This is the email address of your participants. Of course, you can put a comma in between, and then you have a customized message. So here I want to actually customize it and say, have fun, Antoine. They will receive this message saying that we have invited these participants to the training course, Courses About Courses, and you have until November 6th to complete this course. When I click on Assign, all of my participants will receive an invite that looks like this one. They will go into their inbox and it will be a Kahoot buy, and then of course the name of your organization, the message that we just customized, have fun, Antoine, and it basically explained the 3 different steps that we have defined in the course. So first, you will actually add to calendar if the course is starting in the future, but if the course was already starting now, you could immediately play it. The next thing that I need to mention is that courses is actually a self-paced experience. So it means that when we discussed at the beginning about live games and challenges, basically you will experience as a learner courses as a challenge. When you complete, let's say, for example, when you complete session 1, because you've been invited to this session by email, you will receive in your personal inbox a second email telling you that you need to go and read that PDF. When you're done with reading that PDF, you will then receive a third email telling you that now it's time to move on to learn about Kahoot courses. Now, what's interesting for you as a host is that you will be able to follow and track the progress of your participants throughout the entire course in the report section. Let's have a look quickly. So you can see that we can filter by courses. So let's have a look at courses. And then we will just open a course where we were several participants so that it makes a bit more sense. So we're opening the report of the course. We had 5 players, as you can see, and some quick analytics to the report. We had 63 questions altogether. And then you can see that we had 4 training sessions in this course. Of course, I can see a players list, and I can see how everyone is progressing throughout the entire course. You can see, for example, I'm right here, And it's not so good that I didn't complete the entire course, only 1 out of 5. But when everyone has completed the course, you will see that all dots are big and green. That's how you will keep have a view of the progress of your players. And then you can have a view per question. Again, you can choose here all Kahoots combined, or if I wanted to actually just focus on course 3, that was 7 keys to leadership, then I will just see the questions of that specific training session and can see how my audience interacted with the content. So, Evelyn, I think we've gone through how to create a course, how to invite learners to it, and what type of data I can get from the reports. What do
Absolutely.
you think about jumping into a Kahoot right now with everyone on the call?
Yes, I think that that's a great idea. And then we can take some Q&A afterwards.
Fantastic. So let me go back to our team space and we'll launch a game. And please join me. So what we're going to do is launch a live session because we are all together in the same call. I will click on play and present and launch the game. So please, you can see that before I launch the game, our feature player identifier is turned on. And it's because we would like to have an idea of who is hidden behind which nickname. So we will just turn it on so that you have a feel of how it is to have this feature on while entering a game. And then we'll launch the game. So we will just generate a game pin for you. And you can see that the guidelines are you can go on any internet browser at kahoot.it or directly from the Kahoot app if you have it.
Absolutely. So I just want to share quick resources where you can find more information before we do Q&A. So under resources, we have a ton of success stories. So Antoine showed you in the beginning where you can find these. It's on kahoot.com. And there you can read how other companies are using Kahoot, which might help you really understand the full maximum potential that your company can use Kahoot as well. Then we've got a lot of short guide videos, and I will share the short guide video for courses after this webinar as well. So these are hosted by me. It's like 1 to 2 minutes, and I walk you through specific features. And then if you have any questions that you need answered, you can either look on our help and support center, or you can send us an email at business@kahoot.com. And I will share this email address in the chat as well as at the end of the slides, you will see this. So let's look at a couple of questions before we round up this webinar. There is a question about if you can embed videos into your slides before you pull them into Kahoot. So unfortunately, what Kahoot does, it takes basically a snapshot of your slides, which means that anything that moves, be it GIFs or videos, are not imported into your slide deck, but you can always just go to add a specific slide. So when you click on create, you can, if my internet allows me, actually click on slide. There you go, click on slide. And then add a slide and just add any videos from YouTube that you want here or any GIFs you can upload right there. I saw that question a couple of times.
Mind about this is whenever you click on import slide, what we really do is that when we import your slides into your session, we convert them into an image. So just keep that in mind. And that's why if you had in your PowerPoint presentation a video, this will be converted into an image and not into a video. So for you to add a video to your session, just do as Evelyn just showed. You will just have to paste the YouTube link and then select the start and the end of the video if you need to choose a certain time in it.
Yes, if you want the full video, then you don't have to enter this. It will just play the full thing. So that's one question. There's a question if we can do the opposite, if we can embed Kahoots into slides. Very good idea. I will tell our product team, but this is currently not a feature. There are a couple people that are wondering if our reports are SCORM compliant. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. I have, in the meantime, checked with our product team, and they are likely not right now, but there is a workaround you can choose. You can choose to use player identifier. So this is the feature where you're asking for an email address before people enter the game. Then you download the report afterwards, which is super easy. And you can just do this under the reports page. So let me just exit this Kahoot. You go to reports and you choose a Kahoot that you've played where you want to download it. And you can either click right there or you can go in it and click the download. When you do that, you just upload it into your personal LMS. And there you'll be able to match it with the email addresses of the people you have in there. So Antoine, next question. Let me check. There's a question about challenges. So the question is here, if what to do if you're dealing with people that might not have the same internet or Wi-Fi bandwidth. What do you think? I always tell people to do challenges.
Yes, we have heard during this COVID time when a lot of live games were played over Zoom or any type of video conferencing tools that you may experience a delay. And of course, apologies for this. This is actually not linked to the Kahoot platform, but another way or workaround for this is to play a challenge, like Evelyn mentioned, as it is just a self-paced experience and you don't need to be part of a large game with so many players into it.
Exactly. Then there's a question, what the main difference is between courses and just assigning a simple Kahoot.
So when you assign a challenge, you assign just one game. And this game will be completed in a self-paced manner by your participants. But when you assign either an individual or a group of individuals to a course, they are put into a learning path that contains several of these sessions.
Great. Then there is a question if we can issue training certificates after a course. I love the idea, and I will definitely give this to our product team, as courses is still very much in development, and we're looking at different ways to add to it. Then looking at other questions, there's a question if you can mute the sound in challenges. Unfortunately, this depends on the device itself. Antoine, do you have a view on it?
Yeah, I think when you play, for example, from your smartphone, the sound can simply be controlled by the sound of your phone. So there is no way of directly muting it, but you can just control the sound of your device.
Exactly. Then there is a question about, will you have the ability for players to ask multiple open-ended questions, and then hide them once they've been answered? This would be really helpful for town hall style live sessions. Do you want to take this?
So did I understand well? It's about the open-ended question type.
Yes, and about hiding things.
Okay, so by default, all of the answers that are submitted by the players, like you could see in our live game now, they are hidden. They come on the screen, and if you decide to simply move on to the next question without showing them, you can do that. Of course, for today, we decided to display all of the answers on the screen so that we could see them. But anyway, you can go and move throughout the game without showing them. But right now, Evelyn is on the report tab, and you'll be able to find them all into the report if you wanted to.
Yes, exactly. I'm seeing a lot of people asking if there's other ways to upload videos than just YouTube. Again, really great feedback. We currently only support YouTube, but this is something we are looking into. Then let's take the last two questions before we move on. There is a question, if you can change the branding of the Kahoot a bit more. Antoine, do you want to take that?
The branding.
Yes.
So what the experience of the branding is basically that you can brand your games with your organization logo. So it means, like you could see right now, Evelyn has gone on to team settings. You can basically write the name of your team space and upload your organization logo. Whenever you want the branding option to be turned on, you can choose to do that. And then this logo will appear on several screens during the game experience. So it comes first on the lobby screen, then you'll have it on the top of you remember this updated leaderboard between each question, as well as on the final podium. And when you join the game, you have experienced it right now as a participant, you could actually see that logo on your controller, which is your device. This is
Exactly.
how you can brand your games right now. Of course, we are constantly improving the branding. You can, like I showed into the slide, also change the background color, like Evelyn is showing us right now. But yeah, for now, it's we will display your organization logo. And if you want to activate this branding as well from a challenge or a courses perspective, then if you remember when I showed you the email I received, it says a Kahoot by, and then it showed my organization logo.
Yeah, exactly. So that's currently the branding we have. I know that some people are asking to either upload their own music or change the background color of the whole Kahoot to be more company related. These are all great feedbacks that we will take into consideration. Thank you so much for that. Then one more question before we round up the Kahoot is about privacy. Antoine, is privacy guaranteed when you create Kahoots?
So what I can say about the team space, for example, every game that you will create, if it's in the team space, for example, the team space is a secure space. Your content will not be made public if you don't purposely do it on your own. So it will be kept only visible to the team members that you have into your team space. And the visibility settings is also something you can change when you want to edit your Kahoot. And right now you can see that Evelyn is just changing the visibility settings. So you can either have it only visible to your team. It means that you can never find this Kahoot on our public Discover page, and only
Exactly.
the team members who have access to it can see it. Or you can also make it unlisted. Right now, Evelyn is navigating the My Kahoot space, which is, remember, the private and personal space. And here you can decide either to have it only visible to you, to make it visible to everyone, in which case you make it public, and I can find then your game into the Discover page, or unlisted, where only the people with the link of that Kahoot will be able to play it.
And if I'm not mistaken, the unlisted part is part of our publisher's plan. So if you would like access to that, that is on the publisher's plan.
All right.
So those are all the time we have for questions, which means that I just want to share with you where you can find more information on 360. So currently we are in the process of working on courses and launching them soon. So if you navigate to kahoot.com/business/Kahoot360 here, you'll be able to sign up to get information the second courses launches. And this very exciting. You will get access to all of the specific features we would talk to today if you get on that new plan once it launches. And if you have any questions in the meantime, and apologies for the questions we haven't gotten to since time is limited, just send us an email at business@kahoot.com, and then Antoine or anybody else on his amazing sales team will get back to you.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you so much to all of you for your time today. I hope this was fun. I hope you learned something. And like Evelyn mentioned, send your request at business@kahoot.com or directly to me as well. We will anyway take the time to answer you and also potentially connect further into a demo call or whatever you need.
Exactly.
Thank you
We
so
will
much,
take care
Evelyn.
of you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Antoine, for giving all the information.
Yes.
Perfect. We wish you a very nice day, rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world. And I hope that you learned a lot during this webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.